Hello, fellow LEGO enthusiast. Before me lies a LEGO set, and within that LEGO set lies 3 birds. But I'm here to convince you that these aren't birds. Well, obviously they are birds. I mean, that's a bird, and that's a bird. But I think they're much more than that. Let's take a look at this set and see if I can convince you. LEGO Birds was released in 2015 and marked the 9th installment in the LEGO Ideas line. In the third quarter of 2020, LEGO shifted their design language to be more in line with our current 18+ box design. Prior to the release of the Grand Piano set, LEGO Ideas had really cool and unique boxes, and they opened a little something like this. Apologies for the state of this box. It has made it through a house fire, so I think pretty good considering. As I mentioned, and as you can see, the boxes were highly individualized with unique colors and designs. They really didn't adhere to a common design language apart from the flip open box. This is contrary to pretty much every other LEGO theme that has ever existed. One set that the artwork always really stood out to me was the original Ecto 1 Ghostbusters set. Just the black and green background with the hazard striping along the edges is so beautiful and striking. I love the look of that box, one of my favorites of all times. Back to our little avian friends though. Our box here looks like something you might find at a local artisanal cafe, with the forest greens contrasted beautifully with the birch-like background, and our little birds just look like they're being plucked out of these photographs. The build is split very naturally with one instruction booklet for each bird: the European robin, the blue jay, and the hummingbird. This means you could certainly build this with a friend or two. If you have a friend or two, I built this by myself. I will say that building these birds is also very enjoyable. I think 2015 marked a pretty significant change in the builds of LEGO sets, but video on that later. We start off strong with the robin, which has some serious studs not on top action, especially for the time. The dense little build creates a nearly spherical bird and is very, very faithful to the subject matter of the European robin. Next in line is the blue jay. Again, the build sees plenty of snot action and uses ball joints to attach the wings. I will say the build's not quite as good as the robin, but the finished product, if anything, is even better. It is unquestionably a blue jay, and it is stunning. Finally, the hummingbird, the weakest of the 3 by quite some margin. It has a flower included, but they can't save the build from looking decidedly LEGO, but like, not in a good way somehow. I don't know how to explain it, it just looks a bit crap. And the build is really nothing to write home about either. I mean, the wings are just wedge plates stuck on top of each other. It really makes me a bit sad. It feels like the hummingbird's definitely an afterthought tacked on to the other 2 beauties. So we've seen the birds, we've seen the box, and now I know what you're thinking. Yeah, no, those are definitely just birds. Now, let's try a little thought experiment, shall we? This set was released almost a decade ago, and 18+ sets were not a thing back then. UCS sets, Creator Expert, the Shield Helicarrier, heck, even the modular buildings were only 16+ back in those days. Nowadays, however, I feel like every second set LEGO releases is one of those 18+ sets. It's what we in the business call a bit much. If we take a moment to consider what makes an 18+ set, I think we'll find that this here was mislabeled as 12+. Let's see what we have. Displayability? Check. Great build? Check. Instructions with extra reading material? Check, check, check. If you're wondering, yes, that is the same exact blurb from the designer, printed 3 times on each instruction booklet. And a startling lack of play features? Check. Yes, indeed, this is definitely an 18+ set in disguise. So where does that leave us? If this set were released today, where would it best fit? Let me introduce you to another little friend of mine. That's right, my friend. I feel like these birds would best fit in, honestly, with our Botanical. And let me tell you why. As is the case with these botanical sets, I feel that the bird set here is something that you could display reasonably outside of your standard Lego display area. Further, one of the great benefits of the botanicals is that you get these beautiful buds, blooms, and blossoms without any of the burdensome maintenance that comes with owning a normal plant. My wife and I bought a succulent once because we were told they were basically unkillable. Yeah, challenge accepted. Well, guess what? As it turns out, you don't have to feed these birds either. I mean, you can, if you're the sort of person who accuses trees of being lazy. If you would just recycle CO2 faster, we wouldn't be in this predicament, would we? If we quickly run through the build of our orchids here, we'll see that it ticks all the same boxes that these birds do. It is clearly displayable. The build is fantastic. It's got no play features, and it's got bonus info in the instructions. They are the same. Heck, even the hummingbird has a flower right in front of it, albeit it looks a bit dated. And at the end of the day, they both serve to remind us that there is a big world and nature outside of our Lego rooms. In any event, I'd love to get your opinion on this set. Heck, either of these sets. How do you feel about them? Do you feel like I kind of do, that these birds sort of laid the groundwork for what would become things like the Botanical collection? Or have I hit my head on one too many tree branches? Yeah, probably the second one. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Your support really means the world to me. If you haven't already, give the like button a little tickle. Get subscribed if you haven't already. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day in any event. Take care. Goodbye.